Today is going to be the first of two streams. We're going to do something laid back and just, I don't know. I'm just going to kill bots for an hour. How about that?
And I'm not going to be able to watch it.
Oh wait, maybe I should set up screen share. Whoopsie.
It's okay. I don't need to see it.
There we go. I'm glad we discovered the ability to share a specific window.
Makes it a little bit easier, doesn't it?
Alright. Let's do some TDM. So what is your experience with Unreal?
Hold on one second. I'm just doing a little sound check. Do you think you could turn the game down a little bit?
That's a little bit of a problem I'm having at the moment. The thing is, I wish I could adjust the volume with just a little bit more precision.
Yeah, it's just the game's playing like really loud.
Alright, that should be a little better. Yeah, that's a lot better. Alright, I got it.
Okay, sweet.
Alright, so what's your experience with Unreal?
So, I guess it's kind of like a little bit of a story. A lot of people who grew up in the 90s that are older than me, and I would probably even gesture say probably a little bit older than you, you know?
Yeah.
They played a lot of like Doom and Quake, right? And their sort of arena shooter-esque sort of gameplay was a lot of time just spent playing those sort of games and games like it. And I think for more of our generation, Unreal Tournament kind of became this sort of like PC shooter game, you know? Because like all the other big shooters that had like an arena style FPS sort of play to it with like fast speed, pick up weapons, run around, kill things, most of those were on consoles in the 2000s. So I sort of always equated Unreal Tournament to be kind of the Doom like successor of the 2000s. I mean, while it was nowhere near as big as Doom and Quake were in the 90s, it definitely has that sort of prestige to it, you know? So I spent probably like the first 2 years of college, which way past Unreal Tournament's real lifespan, but playing just Unreal Tournament 3 because a friend had a totally legit copy of it for me to play with them. So spent a lot of time just running around blowing people up, and it's a ton of fun. I mean, the things that the Unreal Engine did past Unreal Tournament probably outlive Unreal Tournament by miles at this point, right? Like, when someone brings up Unreal, they're probably thinking of the engine that so many different games are based off of. I think they're in the 4th generation of engine at this point, but it's impressive that something so small can kind of just like it vastly change how we like play games and stuff. So that's kind of my experience with Unreal. A little bit of playing, maybe about 2 years of my life, kind of just playing it every so often with a couple friends in between classes. But really appreciating all the stuff that went into it.
Up until I got this Unreal last year, I think, I got it on sale for like $5 on Steam. But I never actually owned an Unreal game. Oh, sweet. Yeah. But let's go to the menu and change the game type, change the map. But what was I saying? I never actually owned an Unreal game, but a lot of my and most of my experience with Unreal comes from Unreal. I think it was 2004. It was when I was in high school. All the entire video productions department of our school and like the graphical editing classrooms all had these like really like for the time like high level Mac computers, like really powerful Mac computers, and they all for some reason came standard with a demo of Unreal 2004. And so pretty much every one of my video production classes would turn into an Unreal LAN party, like because we were all on the same network and we'd all link up. There'd be like at least half the class all playing Unreal together.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's a fun, just little game to sit there and play. It's something of, it's something we mentioned a little bit. We talked a little bit off stream, like right before we started, of how Gears of War technically came out before this game, but how this game was mostly finished developing by time Gears of War, or it finished before Gears of War, but due to some like minor delays towards the end there, it got put out afterwards. So I think Gears of War kind of like overshadowed it a little bit. But I think this game definitely, I wish it had a little bit more fanfare, because I do really enjoy the game.
To be perfectly honest, I'm surprised we haven't had a new Unreal game.
You mean like Unreal 4?
Yeah. Wait, is there an Unreal 4?
There might be.
This is the most recent one I know of. It's the most recent one that's on Steam.
Okay, then I don't think there is. I'm just flipping through. Just to have like a quick, because I sort of brought it up, a quick sort of discussion of like all the games that are made on various Unreal engines. I googled famous Unreal Engine games, and there's 4 different Unreal engines, and to this day, I think Unreal 1 and 2 are mostly out of use, but there's a lot of like freeware stuff, and it's something like some new developers can get access to for fairly cheap. But I'm just flipping through Deus Ex, Duke Nukem Forever. This is just the first Unreal Engine. Unreal Tournament, XCOM Enforcer. Then like you get to Unreal Engine 2, and then it just blows you away what got made in the Unreal Engine. America's Army, all of the BioShocks were made in Unreal.
Oh, yeah, I knew BioShock was Unreal.
Brothers in Arms was another big shooter in the early 2000s.
I didn't know America's Army was Unreal. That's interesting.
Killing Floor.
Have you ever actually played America's Army?
Yeah, I have actually. That's the it was the one shooter that for a while, if I remember correctly, they used to have like demo copies of it to give to like people that were considering recruiting for the army.
Yeah, it was basically army propaganda of the game.
Yeah.
But it was actually weirdly fun. Like, I actually enjoyed it. Mainly because it was the only game that I've ever played on console that went for that level of realism.
Yeah.
So, I enjoyed it a lot. It was hard as balls, though.
It's not easy to win a real-life war. Magic the Gathering Battlegrounds was made on Unreal Engine.
Oh my god, I forgot that game existed. Have you ever seen that?
I have. It's
not great, but it's an interesting thing to look at, because it was before Magic started to really, really, really get big. Like, it was, like, Magic was already big, but it came out around the time, like, where Magic was dipping, like, around Kamigawa and stuff, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, Shrek 2, Spider-Man 2, which was actually a pretty decent game.
Oh, the one with the open world web slinging?
I might be wrong. That might not be the same Spider-Man 2, because this one, I think it is though, but this one's only for the computer, Microsoft Windows and OS X, so maybe it's not the same one. Republic Commando.
Oh, Republic Commando is really good if you've never played that.
Thief Deadly Shadows, a bunch of Tom Clancy games. We're still just in Unreal Engine 2, by the way. A bunch more Unreal Tournaments. 50 Cent Blood on the Sand.
Oh, that's the greatest game ever made in Unreal.
A couple Assassin's Creeds.
But now that we're playing the game, like, because you weren't sure, like you seemed a little unsure of what I meant about how much this actually looks like Gears. Like,
I mean,
are you seeing what I mean?
Like, I don't know. I see it a little bit, but I don't. I think it's got enough of its own aesthetic.
Wait till we get the one loading screen that shows the main character. You'll see right what I mean.
I've seen pictures of the main character, and he does have that generic buff Space Marine looking.
Like he looks like in the face especially, he looks like he'd be a Gears character.
Yeah.
Like it's the same character design. Like if you saw a Locust run across the map right now, he would not look out of place.
The Batman Arkham games are all made in Unreal. There's just so many. It's just fascinating to me how just all the Borderlands, how just so much of a lot of like huge games that came out in the past decade and a half of our lives, all just based off of one physics engine, one design engine.
We're gonna do some Warfare now. Warfare is probably my favorite game type because it's basically like generic Star Wars Battlefront. And Unreal 3 takes the cake for like weirdest vehicles I have ever seen in a video game. Like I don't know how much you remember the vehicles in this game, but they are all like some of them can be really freaky.
We never really played a whole lot of the vehicle stuff, but I do remember that the vehicles were
Like look at that.
bizarre to say the least.
Let me get in this thing. Oh, this is my favorite though because it's basically a tripod from War of the Worlds. Actually, we're taking it.
Goat Simulator. So the same engine, the exact same engine that made the tripod walking thing you're riding now, the blow up enemy Marines, made a game where you can fly around as a goat.
I actually have Goat Simulator. I was debating streaming it sometime.
World's crazy though.
Yeah.
Oh, Mass Effects. I didn't know Mass Effects were Unreal. I thought they were.
Wow, they don't even have like if I remember correctly, Mass Effect doesn't even say that it was made in the Unreal Engine like on the labels.
Yeah, I didn't think so either. I thought it was made by a different. It was a different thing, but.
I thought EA had their own thing where they prayed to Satan and just made a game. Yeah, Warfare is my jam. I love Warfare.
Just stand around, shoot things. Ride to Hell Retribution.
That is the greatest Unreal game.
Rocket League.
It's starting to get to the point where it's like, if it was made on a PC, it was made in Unreal. Like, damn.
Attack the prime node.
Smite. The MOBA.
I like Smite. Okay, so this is my favorite thing about the big map games they have in this. Check this out.
Yep.
You just have a hoverboard. You just hit a button and you're on a hoverboard. So you can get across the map quicker.
So tubular radical.
Then you can link onto vehicles. Like let me see if I can find an allied vehicle. Like you have like a weird energy tether and you can connect to vehicles and have them pull you.
Just go around the world.
Woo! Ah! But if you get hit while you're on the hoverboard, you fall and get like messed up.
Why ever stop?
Alright, here we go. This is the weirdest fucking vehicle. Okay, so this is its alt fire ability.
Oh, I remember this one. The like weird ball that kind of like bounces around essentially.
Yeah, and then its main weapon is that orb, and you like point a laser pointer at enemies and the orb like zaps them.
Greatest way to kill things.
Red core destroyed.
Oh wow. That was quick. That was like the quickest game of Warfare I've ever played. What the hell?
Huh. The Final Fantasy VII remake's gonna be on Unreal.
Interesting.
Literally everything can be made in Unreal, apparently.
So what's your favorite weapon in Unreal?
Oh boy. I find in arena shooters like this, I always prefer the big explodey guns. So I'd always just try my best to just blow everything up.
So you're a rocket launcher man, is what you're saying.
In arena shooters, I am. I like in other FPSs and stuff like that. I prefer like precision and accuracy. But in games like this, where you're just kind of like blowing things up, I want to blow things up.
See, my jam in Unreal has always been the flat cannon.
The prime node.
It's a grenade launcher and a shotgun all in one. What more do you need?
Red orb dropped. Red
Um,
orb picked up.
Not much.
Yeah.
Space Hulk Deathwing.
That's a game I need to try. It's a first-person shooter where you play as Terminators. Like Warhammer. Terminators,
Tekken 7's
obviously.
going to be on Unreal.
Interesting. I can't wait for Tekken
Red
7.
controls the countdown node.
Comes out in less than 2 weeks.
Well, really? Holy shit.
Yeah, June 2nd's when it comes out.
I have not been paying attention.
Picked up.
Mainly because I'm focused on 2 other games that are coming out this summer that I really, really want. Which are Gundam Versus and Ace Combat 7. Because we haven't had a new Ace Combat game in 9 million, billion, trillion years.
Overload charging.
Yeah, I mean, probably for a reason.
Dropped.
Well, I mean,
I don't remember
they've had Ace Combat
particularly-
Infinity going for free on PS3.
Yeah.
Red orb destroyed.
If I remember correctly, the past couple didn't sell super well.
Well, they're sort of a niche game, and they're mainly popular in Japan.
Grab your orb.
Yeah. American audiences don't appreciate it.
Although,
The-
something that's weird,
Destroyed.
I've noticed that a lot of people who are into Armored Core are also into Ace Combat. I mean, they're completely unrelated games, but I just find it interesting that people like both of them.
I think that's sort of the echo chamber effect right there for you, because you're just friends with a bunch of nerds that like those games.
No. Here's my proof. I used to be part of I used to be a regular poster in the Armored Core thread on Rooster Teeth's website, like forum, but way back in the day, and they all were in Ace Combat too.
Interesting.
Attack the
Back in the
prime
day when it was air combat, damn it.
That was the first game, and that's it.
Was the second one Ace Combat 2
Ah!
or just Ace Combat?
It was Ace Combat 2.
Defend the prime node.
Which
So
was
they
the thing,
went
Air
the-
Combat might have been like a translation error or some shit.
Blue
Yeah, possibly.
core is vulnerable. Attack
Those
enemy core.
Japanese people with their weird language.
That, as far as casual flight sim games go, nothing tops Ace Combat. It's the game to play if you want a casual flight sim.
The prime node.
Like they tried like topping it. Like Tom Clancy's Hawks
Red core
tried
is vulnerable.
that lark and wasn't as good at it. I think the reason we haven't seen an Ace Combat game in a while is because of Ace Combat Assault Horizon. Because Assault Horizon was cool. Like graphically, Assault Horizon looked beautiful, but that was like all it had going.
Blue orb picked up.
I actually decided to look some stuff up and try to
Picked up. Red
figure out
controls the
what.
countdown
See if I'm
node.
talking insanity or if there's actually some merit in my commentary.
Yeah, apparently, like, what a lot of people are pointing out is a lot of the genre's appeal. Like, it name checks, this one article I'm reading, it name checks stuff like Aces over Europe,
Charging.
F-117A, Stealth Fighter, Gunship 2000, stuff like that.
Okay.
They all kind of just fell to the wayside as most people who were interested in those sort of games either slipped into the super realistic ones or like space flying games.
So where does Ace Combat come in?
Ace Combat would be like one of those games.
Red core is
Okay.
secure.
Like not super realistic, but not like super casual.
Attack
Although
the
one thing that
prime
was
node.
weird. Now this was, and it was even weirder to me because this was legal. It was actually done by Namco Bandai. Is I was at Dave & Buster's like I think about a year ago, and they had this arcade flight sim game.
Controls the countdown
And
node.
and naturally, me being me, I sat down to play it. And it had this weird like bubble screen. It was really cool, like this bit, like you could look all around and see everything. But
Enemy Scorpion.
I sat down and I started playing it, and it's like, This looks exactly. I'm flying a CFA 44 Nosferatu. That's a fictional plane that only appears in Ace Combat. And this game wasn't called Ace Combat. And I was just like, okay, that's weird. And then the first level I play is identical to a level from Assault Horizon. It was like, okay, this is weird. Somebody like pirated Assault Horizon's engine or some shit and made it into an arcade game. Turns out Bamco actually just took Assault Horizon's engine and made an arcade game out of it. Like under another name.
Destroyed. Blue team wins the match.
Interesting.
But it was freakish for a second. Like, I was like, this is exactly like Assault Horizon. And that plane is only in Ace Combat. I mean, it's only in the Ace Combat series.
Yeah, I've seen stuff like that before. Like I remember riding in like one of those weird like simulation one of those weird simulation things where you're in like basically like a little mini cockpit thing and it like spins around, goes up and down and whatever. And I'm sorry, I was being distracted by something I was reading. And it was a ripoff of like a PlayStation 1 flight game, like flight combat game. But I didn't realize it until like later on. I remember I just like woke up in the middle of the night and I was originally watching like Let's Play or something like that. And the autoplay was on and it just scrolled to like it just kept autoplaying until it came across this video and I woke up during it. I was like, I remember this vaguely. I've never played this game before, and then I like slowly thought about it. I was like, oh, that's probably where it was.
Yeah, Assault Horizon just wasn't good. Like they tried working QuickTime events into Ace Combat, and it was just no, please no, don't do this to me. I was so.
Wait, when
sad.
did you say Ace Combat 7 was coming out?
Sometime this summer, last I checked.
2018. They got pushed back.
It got pushed back. Fuck you.
Yeah. Because I just stumbled across the Ace Combat Reddit because I was trying to look into more of it, so you'd like find some information to talk about. And there's a bunch of things about even the Ace Combat Reddit can't even get past their childhood dreams because there's like 2 different Hitler finds out videos. I don't think anyone's made one of those since like 2007.
No, I saw a recent one.
But one was
someone made one about all the shit that's going on with Atlanta's highways.
The prime node. Red orb picked up.
I don't know if you saw any of that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, apparently Namco has decided to delay the launch of Ace Combat 7 till 2018 and there's no exact release date.
Fuck. That's disappointing. Well, I mean, hopefully it's for the betterment of the game.
Let's hope so.
The enemy prime node.
Enemy Darkwalker destroyed.
Survival of the fittest.
I mean, every time I see
Oh, I'm on fire.
every time I see something where
Red orb picked up. Enemy orb destroyed.
so they call this a
Increment death count incoming.
Enemy Viper.
they call this a AAA game.
I need backup.
I didn't think Ace Combat was still considered AAA.
That's
I
bad
get-
Namco.
Yeah, but I mean that's like one of those weird things where
Enemy Goliath.
some people classify AAA as the producer that makes the game, like the publishing company,
Attack.
and some classify AAA as the prestige of the actual title of the game. So like, if you saw Activision was coming out with a game,
Enemy orb carrier down.
like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people would immediately just associate that with
Heading toward
AAA.
prime node. Enemy
But-
Viper.
Uh,
Heading toward
Ace
prime
Combat
node.
5 had the AAA treatment when it came out.
Yeah, how long ago was Ace Combat 5?
Darkwalker
That was
destroyed.
2004.
Enemy Nemesis.
Yeah,
Heading toward prime node.
that's what I'm saying.
Because I know I remember commercials for Ace Combat 5 being on like every channel.
Picked up.
I've got got the orb.
Attack the enemy prime node.
Heading toward enemy prime node.
Welcome to my pain.
Huh. 5 was a really good game too.
In position.
Red orb dropped.
Which one was 5 again? Was that the good
Red
one?
orb picked up.
Well, I mean they're all good, but
Like the one that is like good for more than just a couple people.
I am the Alpha
yeah.
and Omega.
I don't know what are you defining as the good one? Like,
Was that the one with like the Puddle of Mud song and stuff?
yes.
Enemy
Okay.
orb carrier incoming.
And then it had a sort of prequel with Ace Combat 0.
Still waiting on Ace Combat 1.
Enemy orb destroyed.
Maintain defensive protocols.
Red orb dropped.
I'm hit.
Red orb
But I'm mad that Infinity wasn't on the PS4's PlayStation Marketplace. I really wanted to play Infinity.
Red orb dropped.
It was like a sort of free-to-play version of like a free-to-play game version of Ace Combat.
You'll get back to that one.
Like we had like micropayments and
Attack
shit,
the
but
enemy prime node.
it looked really fun because
Red orb picked up.
Orb in position.
it was basically like an apology for an Assault Horizon in a way.
Protocols.
Because Assault Horizon they just had to take place in the real world, and like they got rid of all like the cool like lore and backstory to the fake world they made up for the other Ace Combats.
Prime node. Attack the prime node.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, part of what sparked a lot of the shit that happened in the original Ace Combats was the Ulysses event, where
Red orb.
an asteroid was blown up, like almost destroyed the Earth, and they used super weapons to blow it up. But fragments of it still hit the Earth and caused like economic crises and
Attack
shit.
the prime node.
Enemy Darkwalker. Heading toward prime node.
So they just had the Ulysses event happen to the real world
Red orb destroyed.
for Infinity.
Orb.
Enemy Manta.
And so all of these super weapons from the original Ace Combat series got constructed in the real world, like Stonehenge and Excalibur and the Agaion. So you get to fight them, but in Assault Horizon's engine.
Attack the prime node. Red orb dropped. Red
Interesting.
orb is
Yeah.
vulnerable. Red
Sounds like a good way to fix up some of the problems.
Yeah.
Unit requires backup. Beyond dream
You know what's
today, the time your flesh has ended.
you know what's funny? Ace Combat
Red
Uh,
orb is secure.
5 sold less than Assault Horizon in Japan.
No. I refuse to accept this as fact.
Prime node captured.
It did get slightly better
The
ratings
enemy
though.
prime node.
Heading toward prime node.
Red orb dropped.
Unit requires backup.
I mean,
Like, we're
Assault
talking, like-
Horizon wasn't without merit.
Assault Horizon averaged like 78 out of 100, whereas
Heading toward center node.
5 looks like about 84 out of 100.
I have
Like
the
Assault
orb.
Horizon had some
Heading
neat
toward
features in
enemy
it,
prime
like
node.
plane customization, and it had it had decent multiplayer.
Running is inferior.
Red orb picked up.
Unfortunately, that multiplayer died after I bought, like a week after I bought the Steam version. Now I haven't been able to find a game
Red
since.
orb destroyed.
That's what you get.
Then another weird thing that it did. So when you play an Ace Combat game, you expect to just expect to just fly planes, right? That's all the game is. That's all the game needs to be, correct?
Attack the enemy prime node.
Yeah.
So there are parts of Assault Horizon where you're a chopper gunner. There's parts where you're the crew of an
Heading
AC-130.
toward tank node.
There's parts where you fly a bomber plane. And there's multiple levels where you fly a Apache attack helicopter.
Unit in position. Area secure.
Interesting.
Yeah, I found that to be really annoying because I play Ace Combat for a very specific
Enemy orb
reason,
carrier incoming.
and it was straying egregiously away from that very specific reason.
Red orb destroyed.
I'm hit.
Unit needs repair. Unit being overrun.
I mean, kudos for them to actually trying something different. A lot of people tend to just, especially with niche games like that, where they just kind of,
Enemy Viper. Heading toward
well,
prime
they like
node.
it. Let's never try to change anything.
I wouldn't have minded it much if it wasn't like half the game.
Crashed off.
Red orb dropped.
feel no pain.
Attack
Like
Jesus
every other
Christ.
level was that shit.
Picked up.
In possession.
Yeah.
Going down.
I would not have found that anywhere near as frustrating if they didn't do that.
Attack the enemy prime.
Although one thing that was kind of neat is during the multiplayer, like while everybody's flying around in their fighter jets and shit, you can actually play as an attack helicopter or a bomber plane.
Red orb destroyed.
Area secure. Lowest common
Because one of the objective games involved like destroying bases. So while everybody's out like listening to Highway to the Danger Zone and like zipping around above your head, you can sneak over in an attack helicopter and start blowing up their base.
position.
The second somebody found you though, you were dead meat. But
Red orb dropped. Red orb picked up.
I think the most annoying thing about Assault Horizon was the QTEs.
Orb destroyed.
QuickTime events don't need to be in my Ace Combat game.
Heading towards Prime Node.
Maintain defensive protocols. Logging crash dump.
Red orb dropped.
Enemy Darkwalker destroyed.
I could fly my like I could fly my plane just fine without them.
Red
Thank you.
orb picked up.
Unit in position. Area secure. Logging crash dump.
The only thing I'd be concerned about if I was an Ace Combat fan with the new game is being that it's coming out on
Maintain defensive.
PS4 and Xbox One, is them focusing too much on trying to make VR work.
Attack the prime node.
Because we've seen
I don't think it'll
I've
hurt
seen-
the game that much.
I've seen enough games have too much focus on trying to make essentially gimmicks work that they don't really.
Grab your orb. Red orb.
If they do put VR in it, chances are it's only going to control your camera rotation. That's it.
There are VR levels. Like I'm reading the thing and then like the only thing that's been shown so far is VR missions and VR stuff.
Really, because I saw gameplay videos of not VR.
As of 6 days ago, they have not put out anything. The first thing comes out on at
Attack
E3.
the enemy prime node.
Well, I mean, what do you mean? They've put out stuff. There's been full
reading
trailers of
the-
the game.
The only thing they've put out until E3,
Red orb dropped.
I see.
yeah, the only thing non-VR that they put out comes out at E3 2017, according to this letter by
Enemy Darkwalker.
Kazutoki Kono, the Ace Combat franchise director.
Red orb dropped. Attack the enemy prime node.
That's weird. There's nothing mentioning VR in the trailer.
Red
Yeah.
orb dropped.
And I'm not crazy. There was a trailer.
Yeah, I mean, there's a trailer, but that's not
Enemy
gameplay.
carrier down.
No, it showed in-engine stuff.
Red orb picked up.
Yeah, but that's still not in end like.
Like no,
They
like
say
it showed
in-engine
gameplay
now.
like with the HUD and everything.
Yeah.
Blue orb
Okay.
picked up.
I'm just going off of what this little letter to Ace
Red orb
combatants.
dropped.
Because somebody
Does.
broke down the whole thing. It's like because the at the very least the HUD style and the gameplay looks like it's going to be based more off of 5 and 0
Blue orb
than
destroyed.
Assault Horizon, and that makes me happy in pants.
Incoming.
That's why I was excited for the game.
I see. Unit needs repair.
Enemy Scorpion.
Red orb picked up. Attack the enemy prime node.
Although I will say 6 was a bit of a disappointment too.
Red orb dropped.
Like coming off of 5 and
Red orb
0,
picked up.
because 5 and 0 had a bajillion billion planes in them, and then 6 just had like
Carrier
10.
incoming.
Oh, I'm on fire.
Attack the enemy prime node.
You will take what you're given and you will like it.
That and this story for 6 was blah.
Superior tactics prevail. Unit being overrun.
Enemy orb destroyed. Red orb dropped.
Well, your co-pilot was
Heading
annoying.
towards Prime Node.
System failure.
Enemy Viper. Heading towards Center Node.
Red orb destroyed.
Like I'll put it to you this way: I found the co-pilot from or the wingman from 6 to be annoying, and you remember how much you thought Chopper from 5 was annoying, right?
He was.
I found him to be way more Chopper to be way more tolerable than this guy.
Well, that is impressive that they managed to do that.
Well, he's just an angsty, like, well, not angsty, but like he's like an emotional anime character basically. Like every time something bad happens, he starts crying.
Goddamn weebs. I guess they're appealing to their mass market, I suppose.
Like you're doing a victory patrol flight over the capital of your country after you take it back, and he's crying that his wife and child are dead over the radio. Like, how dare it? But like fuck you! Don't be sad while we're flying victory.
I mean,
I was exaggerating and joking there.
yeah.
How dare you be sad that your wife and child are dead? Then the cutscenes all followed this woman who was like separated from her daughter, and like she was like wandering around, had nothing to do with the fucking story. Except for like one part where she tells you
Attack the prime node.
where she tells you something important over the radio and then fucks off forever.
I just can't. I can't get past in my head just the sound of someone crying over the radio, while you're just like sitting there with a little like party hat and like one of those.
Like in my plane, just like looking grumpy.
Area secure.
You have
some
a
of us-
party. You have a party hat and one of those like little like party blowers,
Defend
and
the prime node.
and just your co-pilot's like, everyone's dead. He's like,
Enemy
"Ah."
heading toward tank node.
Attack the center node.
Although one thing that was really cool about that level that they did with the graphics was you're flying like over the city while it's celebrating at night, and there's fireworks going off all around you, and it was really cool. They look beautiful.
Blue orb picked up.
Ow!
Aside.
All vectors protected successfully.
Defend the center node.
So if you could have anybody narrate your life, who would it be? You're not allowed to say Morgan Freeman.
I wouldn't choose Morgan Freeman.
The enemy prime node. Red orb dropped. Red orb
Can I bring a
picked
person
up.
back from the
Heading
dead?
toward center
Yes.
node.
Sam Kinison.
Defensive protocol.
Red orb dropped.
Your life as narrated by Sam Kinison would be the fucking best. Not gonna lie.
It would just be constant screaming about all the assholes around me. It'd be great.
Heading toward center node.
If I had to choose someone living though,
Orb picked up. Attack
Um,
the enemy prime node.
Enemy orb carrier down.
huh?
Red orb picked
If I had to
up.
choose someone living,
Destroyed. Red orb
I'd probably
dropped.
choose.
Attack the enemy prime node.
I need some backup.
Well, why don't you answer? Why don't you answer? Who would you have narrate your life?
Alright, so if I had to pick somebody dead,
Position.
it would probably be Alan Rickman.
Unit in position.
This is my shitty life as voiced by like this monotone British man. If I had to pick somebody alive, I'd probably pick. It'd be the same idea, but I'd pick Simon Templeman, the guy who voiced Kane in Legacy of Kain.
Blue
Mhm.
orb picked up.
Gotta get that monotone voice in there.
Or for somebody dead, I'd pick Tony J. You know who Tony
Get
J
them
is,
both
right?
to do it. Why not?
For the time board
Red orb picked up. Barricade destroyed. Attack the
But
center
you
node.
know who Tony J is, right?
position. Area secure.
Yeah, he was the voice of the Elder God, right?
Yeah, and like Judge Frollo from Hunchback of Notre Dame and stuff like that, and Megabyte.
Red orb dropped.
Yeah.
Attack
Although I think
the
my
center
favorite
node.
answer I've ever heard to that was I can't remember where, but it was on something that I watch on a regular basis. But they picked Brian Blessed, and if you don't know who he is, he's this gigantic British man.
Prime node.
He was in like the two things I know him from are Blackadder and the old Flash Gordon movie. He was the leader of the Hawkmen, but he has this deep booming voice, and like their impression of it is like he's masturbating again.
What if how about this? How about I get
Grab your orb.
how about I get House? I want House to narrate my life.
Laurie.
No,
Not
not
doing it.
Hugh Laurie. House.
So
I don't want-
So specifically Hugh Laurie doing the house voice.
Picked up.
In character.
Center node.
That sounds pretty nice.
Position. Survival of the fittest.
Red orb dropped. Red orb picked up. Defend
My
the
favorite
center
was
node.
because like
Position.
Attack
if you
the
were
enemy
American
prime node.
and you weren't very cultured,
Carrier down.
and then you saw House,
System failed.
and you saw Hugh Laurie, and then you like looked him up, you'd be devastated to find out that he was not American.
Yeah, he is British as hell. Like I was shocked when I found that out.
Yeah, because like I can't, and I'm not like a super expert on Hugh Laurie's career, but I can't imagine too many things he's been in that would have been popular here in the States.
Blue orb.
Because like I know he's well known for a lot of roles he had in various
Red orb destroyed.
TV shows and stuff,
Blue orb.
and like I think he was he in Blackadder too?
Hugh Laurie.
Attack the center node.
I think I think he was in one of the later Blackadders that I've never seen.
Picked up. Red orb dropped. Red orb picked up.
Area secure. Area secure. Unit.
Huh? His actual name is James Hugh Cullum Laurie. Interesting.
Red orb dropped.
Position. All clear.
Unit in.
Yeah, he first became known as one half of Fry and Laurie with Stephen Fry.
Heading toward Prime.
Yeah, I've
And
seen
he
a bit of
joined-
Fry and Laurie.
Yeah, whom he joined in the cast of A Bit of Fry and Laurie, Blackadder, and Jeeves and Wooster. So yeah, he did a bunch of Britishy stuff for a real long time, and then
Destroyed.
decided to come to America,
Dropped.
Heading
play
toward
House,
Prime.
and then fuck back off to Britain.
Basically, I think I'd pick just how like weird and like mundane my life is. I'd pick like pretty much any like prestigious
Red
British
orb
actor
Dropped.
just to hear them talk about the shitty things I do all day.
Area secure.
Maybe only on one condition. If my life ever gets to the point where I'm addicted to like speed or something, I want the Micro Machine guy to.
It's like I'd also be happy with Patrick Stewart or John
Red
Hurt.
orb destroyed.
Knowing your luck, you'd end up with Andy Dick.
You dick.
Red enemy orb destroyed.
I've
Drop. Red
I've
orb
always
picked
I've always
up.
thought about
Attack
that
the
sort of
center
stuff. Like,
node.
what if
Red orb dropped.
Real quick, to break the running theme of British dudes, I'd bring Leonard Nimoy back to life.
In position. Unit in position.
that'd be a good one?
System failure.
Have you ever wondered, like, let's just throw out conspiracy theories here. What if someone in the world actually had the power to read minds?
Red orb destroyed.
I would.
Like, would that be a good thing or a bad thing?
Here, let's add a twist to that. What if you suddenly had the ability to read minds?
System.
Me specifically. Now, how does that power work? Is it just like,
If you focus
I-
on somebody too hard, you hear their thoughts.
okay, so it's not like I'm just walking around and I'm just hearing everyone's voices just going all at once. I have to like
Yeah.
focus.
But if you're not focusing, you can sense people's intentions. How about that?
Okay. Well, I'd be rich.
Attack the enemy from
You just
node.
abuse the power egregiously.
Heading toward
Not egregiously. I wouldn't do anything to harm somebody, nor would I do anything to. I wouldn't like try to scam people. Like, I'm already a person that I can read people well enough that I like.
The center node.
I'm a pretty decent public talker because I can just sort of. I just read a couple people in the audience and I just focus on those people. I'm like, every time I say something, I want to see if they like react to it, and if that happens, I'm just gonna keep going for it.
Attack the center node.
And that's how I became the next Hitler. If I don't get any negative feedback from what I'm saying, I might as well keep talking. I think I don't know, that's like one of those weird things, because while it'd be super cool to be able to read people's thoughts, I'm already a pretty self-conscious person
Welcome
about like how I look, how I sound, how I act, like all that sort of stuff. So being able to read people's thoughts, I'd feel like I'd always be like really nervous that they're gonna be like, this fucking dick, like look what he's wearing. When was the last time he shaved? Did he
See-
shower today?
It'd be the opposite for me.
Attack the center node.
Because
Red
I
orb
think being able to
destroyed.
hear what people were thinking of me would like immediately, for encountering people that like hate me or like secretly want me to die or some shit, like it'd be kind of depressing.
Center node.
But it would cure a lot of my anxiety, because a lot of my anxiety centers around like, okay, somebody's not being genuine with me, like I can't tell if they are or not.
Okay, that's
The enemy prime node.
that's fair. I would feel a lot of the same way, but I mean, one of my things is, from everything I feel like, you know, I have a lot of friends, like friends in the air quotes that like I have a lot of people I can hang out with. I may not actually hang out with them, but there's a lot of people that like I feel like I get along with and stuff, and it'd be weird if like I find out that a lot of them feel the same way as like
Attack the
I
enemy
feel about you.
node.
Area secure. Area secure.
You incompetent twat.
Position.
Um,
Secure.
I'm just fucking, but it would be different. It'd be an interesting experiment. Like I'm sure there's like, you know how there's the D&D like 3x3 square of good, evil, and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, the alignment chart.
Yeah, I've never known the name for it, so I've always just called D&D 3x3. Mostly because it rhymes. Alignment chart's hard to rhyme with things that sound catchy.
Attack the center node.
So I'm sure there are people out there that would only use it for good, and I'm sure there are people out there that would use it to specifically fucking torture with people. I feel like I'd fall somewhere in the like chaotic neutral.
Red orb picked
I'd
up.
do both good and bad, but I'd kind of like do whatever I want with the good and bad. But that
Like I think it would really help me with is understanding people, because you've known me all my life. You know I have like a really hard time like getting the hint, so to say.
oh yeah, I was surprised you ever got laid.
Area secure.
So yeah, so like it would help me a lot with that.
And I think that's a good way to use it. Though, I have a little bit of a spin-off question to this. You're allowed to pick two superpowers. One that's insanely useful and traditional, and one that's completely nonsensical, but is just something that you'd want to be able to do.
You bleed better than you shoot.
Like,
Your orb.
a quick example would be your first power is the power of invisibility, and your second power is you have the ability to make ice cream with your finger. So you just like put out your finger and just, like, you can make like soft serve come out. Like, so what would your two be?
The enemy prime node.
Okay, so my main ability would probably be I can't
Red orb
pick one for
picked up.
sure
Attacking
for the main
center
ability,
node.
but it's a tie between telekinesis and the ability to be healthy no matter what I do.
Enemy orb carrier incoming. Red orb picked up.
As far as the pointless power goes, I think it would be the ability to create an orb of light that's any color I choose and can float somewhere around my body.
Enemy orb
It's really funny that you mentioned that, right? So my answer to this is always, for my useful power, it'd be teleportation.
destroyed.
Because I feel like if I can teleport, like, that solves so many problems, right? Like, because one of my biggest problems is, like, oh, I don't feel like getting out of bed today because I don't want to have to, like, get dressed and like, have to walk somewhere. Or I don't have to worry about a ride or a car or whatever. So I can just be like, bam, I'm there. And my life would be instantly easier. My kind of so it's funny. You said be helpful no matter healthy no matter what happens to you. My useful superpower would be I want to be able to eat whatever food I want and have it have no negative effects to my body.
That's essentially what I was getting at.
Heading towards center node.
Like essentially, I have a nice, fit, healthy body no matter what I eat, no matter how much exercise I do.
Yeah, because I don't really think that's like a real superpower. I think that's more of the like kind of this is like some little stupid thing. Like, because like I can't really abuse that. Like, there's not people don't pay like millions of dollars for eating contests, right? So I can't just go to an eating contest, chow down 1 billion hot dogs or whatever, and win $1 million. It's not like I can like save crime or like save people from crime just because I can go eat Taco Bell every day and not like
Dropped.
die.
Attack the center node.
So that would be my useful sort of like superhero gimmick is it's the amazing teleporting fast food eating man.
Attack the center node.
Uh,
Enemy orb
um,
carrier incoming. Red
Well, I had to
orb
pick that as a
dropped.
minor power. Then my main power would be telekinesis,
I think telekinesis is a good one.
Dropped.
because
I-
you can manipulate things from a distance. You could potentially fly.
Enemy orb destroyed.
That's one of the things that I always I always get curious about is the people that say flying, right? How is flying any better than
Red orb
teleportation?
dropped.
Really kind of isn't. Well, it depends on the
Yeah.
limitations. If your teleportation's like Nightcrawler, you have to know what the place you're looking like to know what the place you're teleporting to looks like.
Picked up.
I've got the ore.
Yeah, I mean, once you start getting into specific limitations, there might be a reason why flying's better. But on the pure whole and whole, just 100% teleportation, 100% flying. And someone brought this up to me whenever I made this point before, because I've had this conversation a couple times in the past.
I'm being overrun.
Like, if I have the ability to teleport wherever I want, does, like, the mysticism of certain places in my life go away? Like,
Destroyed.
the idea of, like, going to Britain, right? And walking through, like, the streets of London. Does that kind of, like, lose its charm because I can do it whenever I want? And I think not. Mostly
No,
because
definitely not.
I'm not gonna, like, spend every day of my life teleporting wherever I want. I can. But, like, I feel like there's so many places in this world that I can just teleport to. That, like, most of the time I'm gonna teleport between the same 3 places. But if I'm ever bored, I could just be like, I'm gonna go spend 20 minutes in, like, on top of the Great Wall of China.
Enemy Goliath.
20 minutes.
Enemy prime node.
Although, if you ever got like really depressed and you had the teleportation powers, you'd have like the ability to commit the best suicides ever. Like you could like just teleport yourself to the sun.
It'd be the first time ever the president woke up with a dead body next to him.
Oh, if I could teleport, I'd fuck with people hard.
We shall
I mean, there's a lot of ways you can fuck with people.
Like I just teleport in behind the president during a State of the Union speech for like 4 seconds and
attack
poof
the
away,
enemy prime node.
and like be like wearing like a scary mask or something.
I would become. Have you ever heard? So I'm always very fascinated by like unexplained incidents and stuff. Like, just like things that happen that are bizarre and creepy that we don't really have a great explanation for. Like, I'm sure you've heard of like, was it UVC 76 or whatever?
What is that?
Let me look it up because I think it's UVC 76.
Do you know about
The center node.
Tunguska?
Red orb destroyed.
What's that one?
Enemy orb destroyed.
It's where I think it was in like the real early 1900s or like the real early
Grab your
or the
orb.
real late 1800s.
Red orb picked up.
Something hit
Defend
Russia,
the center node.
like something massive, like nuclear bomb level. They, like the common theory is that an asteroid hit the Earth,
Mm-hmm.
Red
and like it
orb
like flattened all the trees in a certain area.
Heading towards center node.
And they have like
Red
no.
orb dropped.
Explanation of what it was, because
Interesting.
like 3 because it was like in like the middle of Siberia, like 4 people
Red
witnessed it.
orb picked up.
I've got the ore. Heading towards center node.
Red
That's sort
orb
of.
dropped.
It's kind of funny that happened in like Russian area because it's UVB 76,
Okay.
and I should have thought B because B is buzzer, and it's a broadcast, like a radio broadcast that's been going on since 1973.
Destroyed.
Well, probably even before that, and but like the first reports of it were made in 1973, and people have pinpointed it to like roughly a Russian location, but it's never been confirmed, and it's never been
The center node.
like it's never been fully spotted where it is.
Picked up. Enemy
And
carrier incoming.
it broadcasts at 4625 carats, and it broadcasts a little buzzing sound that like about 25 tones per minute, 24 hours a day, and it never stops except for like a couple times. And the only times it's stopped, there have been voice transmissions in Russian that were some sort of like the people that like tried translating it couldn't really make out too much of it, so it was almost in like a code, not so like it wasn't like some guy just like saying like a recipe. It was just a bunch of random words that couldn't fit together. And the other interesting thing is it's not a broadcasted, it's not like a sound and then they pipe in something, right? It's not like
Play.
um,
On red.
it's not like this is just like a continuous loop of these beeps that's just been playing for 4 decades now. It's a live mic because there have been incidents where people can be heard talking in the background of it. And I think it's stopped once or twice. In I think like early 1990s, and it sounded like it was being moved. Like you could hear like the rustling of what it sounded like some people were picking up, moving it. And like a good example is a voice message on 1997 read out, "Ya UVB 76, Ya UVB 76, 180 08 Bromall 74 27 99 14 Boris Roman Olga Mikhail Anna Larissa 742 79914." And voice messages is really rare for a real long time until about 2010, where there was like a bunch in a row throughout 2010. And then
It's a channel where they activate Russian sleeper agents or some shit.
I mean, that's like one of the theories, right? And then, like the most recent like update about the thing, because it's a live thing. There's like radio that you can listen to it right now, and I've actually listened to it for a while. Because back in like 2010, whenever like there was a lot more frequency, I thought, oh, I'll check it out, and it's legit, just something buzzing for a little while, for just like buzzing constantly and just making these little beeps and stuff.
That's crazy. I might have to check that out myself.
Uh,
That sounds like some
on-
weird ass Cold War shit, and I really like that.
Yeah, I'm surprised you've never actually heard of it, because this is something that like
This sounds like something I'd be into.
yeah, I mean, there's a ton of unexplained things about it, because I mean we don't know. I mean, maybe like our government knows, or maybe like, I mean, obviously the Russian government knows, right? Or someone out there knows, but the vast
Red team scores.
majority probably don't. And
Flag taken.
it's like really, it's really interesting, because stuff like that kind of like in Fallout 3 there's the number stations, and I've always been fascinated by the number stations because of like what their historical like purpose was, you know, how they were used to like transmit secret codes or transmit like messages without them being intercepted.
Wait, you don't know what those are for?
Well, I do know what they're for.
Yeah, they're how you find the experimental MIRV.
Yeah. But in real life, they're used for they were used for submitting secret messages and stuff. And not every number station was directly linked to that. There were some number stations that were cries for help, essentially, if you decoded them. And they led you to like a little secret area where there's usually a bunch of dead bodies and like some decent loot.
Fallout 3 was really good for throwing out the creep factor sometimes. I
Yeah.
must say. Like, I'd say it was better at it than like 4 New Vegas were.
Yeah, I really think so, because out of all the Fallout games, and I've only played a little bit of 1, and I haven't played 2 in a really long time, so most of my remembrance of 2 is just like dicking around in various areas.
Red flag
But like,
taken.
there was something about 3 where it felt like it was a little like,
Red flag returned.
just when you're exploring the wasteland, it felt a little bit more eerily alone than I felt in other Fallout games, you know?
But yeah, it's because like New Vegas took place in a more civilized part of the planet.
Yeah, and I feel like the Fallout 4 there still felt like there was less alone time in the middle of nowhere, right?
You know, the sandbox was a little small in 4.
Yeah. So there was something about 3 where it was just like you kind of felt alone, and like just if you're walking around with you just listen to 3 Dog, and then maybe like you get out of the range of 3 Dog, and all of a sudden you're just like
Oh yeah, when
You're not.
when you don't have Galaxy News Radio fixed, and like Galaxy News Radio actually has a range.
Yeah, and you're just kind of like walking around, and you're like,
Critical system.
there's like nothing. It feels really eerie.
Have you done the Point Lookout quest for the Kriv Bekni?
I believe I did. It's been forever since I played Fallout 3, though.
Because it links to... Well, you've been to the Dunwich building before, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that the quest that's you?
Links to the Dunwich building. You have to take this book called the Kriv Bekni there and destroy it.
Red flag taken.
Now, they don't tell you this, but if you have the Kriv Bekni in your inventory, friendly NPCs will randomly attack you. Like it has a trigger that happens every so often that all the friendly NPCs within a certain radius will just aggro on you for no reason.
I didn't know that.
Killing spree.
Huh. I'll have to try that out next time I play.
Like it's super like I didn't know it was causing it because I took the Kriv Bekni quest but I didn't finish it for a long time and I could never figure out why NPCs are randomly attacking me. But the Dunwich building, that was good. That was good, scary fun.
Unit being overrun.
Like that was one of the last times I remember being like legitimately creeped out by a game.
Red flag taken.
Yeah.
Red flag taken. Red flag returned.
Just because like they did all those like weird flashes, like when you like that one part when you go into that one room, and it like flashes for a second, and you see the pre-war version of that room, and there's a man standing there.
Flag dropped.
And when the flash goes away, there's a glowing one standing where the man was.
Flag in possession.
That was pretty creepy.
Well, I'm gonna get back to what I was originally gonna get to whenever I was kind of explaining why I'm
like weird
fascinated
mystery
by
stuff.
Yeah. So, and my memory of it's not like the best because I obviously wasn't alive for this. But have you ever heard of the Max Headroom incident?
No, maybe. Like, start explaining it, and if I have heard of it, I'll say something.
So I want to say sometime in the 70s or 80s. I'm just gonna Google it so I can get the right date. 1987. A Chicago broadcast of some TV show or something like that was interrupted by what's now known as the Max Headroom broadcast. And Max Headroom, if you didn't know, he was like an old spokesperson for like Pepsi, and he was like this kind of like computer generated thing, had like bright blonde hair and like a big creepy head, and it was an old Pepsi mascot. And so they kind of just it was once during a showing of Doctor Who and another during the like nightly news. And it was just this guy with like this. He just interrupted the broadcast. Just like there's these weird wavy lines behind him, and he's just dancing around, like speaking in this like this altered tone voice, kind of like a screeching sort of voice, in the headroom mask, and he's just like insulting people, and he's like just spouting off random stuff. I think at one point there's a picture, there's like parts like he pulls down his pants and like some other person starts like whipping his butt with like a fly swatter or something like that.
That's really odd. I've never heard of this.
I think it between the two different times it happened, it was about roughly 2 minutes total of airtime of just like gargled mess and just the sound of him kind of like screeching in the background with this Max Headroom hat on, and then it just goes back to the show. And the really creepy thing about it is the dude was never caught, and there was no one that's come out and said, "Oh yeah, that was me," has ever been able to provide proof that it was them. And they don't know why it happened, and they quite couldn't really figure out how it happened. So for about just like 2 minutes of television time of like television history
All vectors
is just that.
successfully.
This guy just like mocking people and all this. Like if you've never seen Max Headroom, it's really creepy looking, like the mask on him, and stuff like that always intrigues me because not only is it creepy, but it's like the unexplained, like no one quite knows how it happened or when it happened.
Flag in possession.
So I've always loved like stuff like that. So to really the drive home the original point, I would show up behind like somebody in an important televised speech wearing a Max Headroom hat, like a mask, and I'd revive the old Max Headroom incident.
Another thing that was that got unexplained and things that was that I always found really fascinating and creepy is I can't remember I haven't looked at it in a long time, so I can't remember for the life of me, but one of the Let's Drown Outs they did, Yahtzee and Gabe did, was a game bait, like inspired by this incident.
Flag in possession.
That game they did, I think it was like Kolot or some shit like that. But it was based on this incident where a bunch of people went camping on this mountain in Russia, and they went missing.
Flag in possession.
And when they were found, they found their tent and it had been torn open. It was like it had been torn open from the inside.
Blue flag returned.
And the few people they found, like they had like their lips eaten off. Like it was like a bunch of really creepy shit.
Jesus.
Like they found them like miles away on the edge of the woods in their underwear. Like some of the reports was like it was as if something had chased them.
My
And
goodness.
some of them, when they did autopsies on some of them, they found like human remains in their digestive system. I think. I can't remember a lot of the details, but like, look up the game Kolot, and then you'll very quickly find a link to the real life incident.
Flag in possession.
I definitely have to do that. That's
It's legitimately terrifying. It's just like it was like okay, like you sit there like your entire life. It's like okay, zombies don't exist, and then you read that and it's like, okay, maybe. Oh, and some of the dead bodies actually had their skulls caved in.
Blue flag dropped.
and they just like have no explanation to anything. Wow.
Yeah. So the fact that some of them had their skulls caved in is just like that. Yeah, okay, maybe zombies exist. Okay. Like obviously no, but you get what I mean.
Blue flag taken.
Flag in possession.
So it just sounds like something that it sounds like it would be an entry in the the recorded history events of the Zombie Survival Guide.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's really weird. Oh fuck. Which I'm actually surprised they didn't actually try to make that incident into an entry for the Zombie Survival Guide.
Blue flag returned.
Survival.
Because like they use it as a they use other real life incidents as plot points for the Zombie Survival Guide, like Roanoke.
Roanoke is the story of like all those people that disappeared off the island, right?
Yeah, in Virginia, like back during like the colonial times.
Blue flag returned.
I remember being like that stuff sort of always kind of like excited me, and not like excited me, but like fascinated me. And I remember when we first like discussed that story in like history class. It was quite interesting.
Blue
Yeah,
flag
in the Zombie
taken.
Survival Guide, they made it so everybody in the town was either like the town was overrun by zombies, and everybody in the town was either completely devoured or turned, and all the zombies wandered off into the woods.
Blue flag returned.
Actually, the recorded history events at the end of the Zombie Survival Guide are actually really good reads.
I've never read them. I'll have to check that out at some point.
Yeah, like they actually work zombies into some real mystery events from history. Like I don't know. And it's fun because you can actually, like, some of them connect to each other, and you can sit there and play connect the dots, sort of. Like some are less subtle than others.
Red flag taken.
Like if you go back and like read through them, it's like, oh crap, zombies that survived this event ended up here, and caused that.
Blue flag returned.
Unit requires backup.
Interesting.
Red flag
It's really well written.
That is cool.
Flag unit terminated.
Like for being just something about zombies, but like, it's really well done.
Yeah, I've noticed in the past couple years, people have maybe sort of started to rest on their laurels when it comes to what
Position. Unit requires backup. Superior
good
tactics prevail.
lord.
What?
I don't know. I was just clicking random things to kind of to move. Like I don't know. I just started reading some stuff about the Max Headroom
flag
incident.
taken.
Just to see if I said everything correctly, because I don't want to be wrong on the internet. And it led me to this article talking about in 2014, a little boy in Economy, Pennsylvania, found a severed head lying in a field belonging to an old woman
Flag in possession. Incoming.
that didn't match a profile of any missing person. Forensics figured out that she was from like a Pennsylvania area, like, or a local state, based on like
Red flag
specific
taken.
features and soil that was found
Blue
and like
flag
specific
taken.
particles and stuff, I guess.
Possession.
But like they have no profile of a missing person that matches her, and they couldn't identify her. But here's where the really weird thing comes up.
Enemy flag carrier here.
Her eyes were removed from the body, or from the head,
Red flag
and were replaced with rubber bouncy balls.
That's fucking weird.
In possession.
No, that actually made me think of something. There's this guy.
Possession.
Okay, I can't remember any like the names or connections to this event, but a man, I think he was like he went on like a Greyhound bus to like
flag
Canada
dropped.
or
Blue
something
flag returned.
to for like a job interview, and it's reported that he I think he didn't get the job, but while he was on the bus ride home, he just very calmly out of nowhere like pulled out a knife and started stabbing the shit out of the man next to him, and began eating his head. And like gouging out his eyes and cutting off his lips and stuff.
Red flag taken.
Jesus, that's terrifying.
Yeah. Like the dude was dead before he even, like, because the guy was asleep listening to music. The guy was dead before he even knew what happened to him. And like somebody went on the bus to try and stop him, and he stabbed him to death too.
Red flag
Because like obviously after that happened, they fucking threw that bus on the side of the road and everybody fucked off, obviously. But yeah, it's just weird because he had no prior history of like psychosis or anything like that. Like he was a perfectly normal person, and then he just did that out of nowhere.
Superior tactics prevail.
Blue flag taken.
Flag in
This is
possession.
like the creepypasta stream or some shit.
Enemy flag carrier here.
Yeah, I mean, but like we're talking about real shit though.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Tom and Shud?
Carrier here.
No.
Red flag returned.
It was a man in Australia that was found dead. Everything like on his body had like any sort of identifiable things were removed. Like all things on his clothes were like removed, like any identification markers, so they couldn't really tell like where the clothes were found. This was in like 1940 something. I want to say like towards the end of 1940s, right before 1950. It's like 48, 49, and they tried to match dental records and fingerprints, but nobody in Australia had those records, like had the same fingerprints or anything like that. So then they looked outside of Australia and couldn't get any matches anywhere else in the world.
The Time Lord.
And granted, this is 1948, so like,
Forensics weren't as quite as good back then.
yeah. And they kind of, after like, I think about a half a year of determining, they found links to the clothes he was wearing to America. So, the autopsy, if I remember correctly, returned that he was perfectly healthy, had recently eaten, except for like some parts of his body showed signs of poisoning, but they couldn't find any poison in his system.
Flag taken.
And the signs of the poisoning weren't like, it wasn't like a slow poison. It would have been that if he had poison in his system, like
And then something like cyanide, like he would have died
Return.
immediately.
yeah, but neither like the body returned anything that would have indicated that, nor did like anything really. There wasn't anything in his body, nothing in his system or anything like that.
Blue flag returned. Red flag returned.
And they apparently found like more clothes of his with all the tags removed and stuff. And then while searching, they found that his pants had a secret pocket. And inside the thing was like a little piece of paper with the words Tom and Should written on it, which I believe translates to finished. I don't remember in what language, I just remember reading that it translates to finished. And it had like a secret code written on it. Just like 5 sets of like random numbers and
Flag returned.
in like some order, and nobody to this day has been able to figure out what the code means,
Flag taken.
like what those letters mean.
Red flag returned.
Interesting.
And I think the article that I remember reading about it, and the couple articles I read to follow up on it, said like as recently as I think like 2014,
Unit required.
they're still trying to figure out what the code means, because it's experts believe that it isn't just random letters, that they think there's something to this code, they just can't figure it out. And it's been what, almost 60-70 years since the murder, and they just have no idea who this person is or what maybe killed him.
That's interesting. I always love a good mystery.
Blue flag taken.
I just want to talk about one more because it's a little lighthearted in
Go for it.
comparison to murders. Have you ever heard of Toynbee?
No.
The Toynbee tiles?
Yeah, no, I don't think I have.
So essentially, basically, since about, I don't know, for years now, someone's just been going around the world, not the entire world, I think it's just like Western Hemisphere, so like in the US and South America and stuff, people just keep laying down the same set of tiles in random cities and stuff. And I believe, here, let me look it up real fast, because what the tile says is kind of creepy, but it's just like this little message.
Unit being overrun.
Red flag taken.
Toynbee idea in Kubrick's 2001 Resurrect Dead on Planet Jupiter.
Blue flag returned.
And for the past 30 years, these have been showing up in cities all over the Western Hemisphere.
So it says Kubrick 2001.
Enemy flag carrier.
Yeah,
I
and
mean, there's some kind of link there, like Stanley Kubrick
Red
directed
flag,
2001: A
red
Space
flag
Odyssey.
returned.
yeah, and if you know, I mean, and there was a relation to Jupiter as well, and like some of them have like other sort of letters on there as well, but there's just like this consistent thing where they all say the similar thing. It's been showing up for about 30 years, and they only had one suspect. They only had like one suspect, but he died in like, I want to say 2004, and The tiles haven't stopped since he died, and when he died, he was in like his 70s.
Blue flag taken.
And so even if the suspect was still doing it, he was like traveling all over the Western Hemisphere planting these things. It's actually one of the biggest hotspots for the Toynbee tiles is actually in Philadelphia.
Interesting.
And apparently they have like, if I remember correctly, they got like, according to this, it says that next to the Toynbee tile, there's this huge rambling thing about the FBI and the mafia.
Blue flag returned.
So you know, all right. You know what kind of conspiracies actually bother me?
I've got 3 that I'm gonna guess. Is it lizard people?
Well, no, the ones that aren't particularly ridiculous. I mean, it does fall into the ridiculous tropey ones, but go for it. Keep guessing.
Oh, okay. Well, my other 2 were
Flag taken.
ridiculous as well.
Go for it.
The flat
Blue
Earth
flag.
and
Blue flag returned.
either
Blue flag
the Illuminati / Freemasons /
2
Jews.
minutes remain.
Like those 3 are like the same sort of conspiracy theory.
All right, mine is Area 51. Like people will think they're like it's like, oh, there's aliens there and shit like that.
Blue flag.
like-
Oh, okay.
Flag returned.
Now, because it's a top secret base, we don't know exactly what is in there. I really doubt there's aliens
Incoming.
because it's just a test bed for like Area 51 has always been a test bed for
Blue flag
prototype
taken.
aircraft.
In possession.
Like they've already they've already declassified that the SR-71 and the F-117 stealth fighter were both tested there. Now, if you look at the F-117, couldn't you see somebody confusing that for a UFO?
Give me a second to look up the F-117.
1 minute remains.
Oh, so it's just like a regular stealth bomber sort of thing. Like,
Yeah, it's the first stealth fighter.
okay.
It was tested at Groom Lake, at Area 51.
Meow kitty.
You can hear that?
Cat's hungry. Yeah.
Yeah, she's in heat.
Again?
Yeah.
Stupid poop.
Once a month.
Stupid poop.
Incoming.
Yeah, I could see people confusing that for what would be considered a UFO.
I mean, granted, like somebody could easily go, like, haha, like your story. But, like, come on, man. Be real. They just didn't want anybody to know they were testing out the first stealth aircraft.
Beyond 3 brings you to mine today.
Well, it's kind of funny you mentioned that because there's actually another unexplained thing. Have you ever heard of the WoW message?
No?
10,
There's like
7, 6, 5,
super.
4.
They have like I think it's like a telescope thing in space that like can
Red team.
pick
wins
up
the
messages and occurrences and stuff in deep space, like super far away. And they have like a specific code that they use for like their messages and stuff. And I don't know when. It's been forever since I read about it, but there was a message that there was like a weird sort of thing that like came through, like a weird occurrence, and when it got broken down into the code and stuff, it said wow.
Oh. Oh, I'm gonna have to stop the stream there. I just accidentally closed the game.
Well, it gives us plenty of time to go switch if we were going to switch for a different game.
Yeah, we'll hold on to this subject and continue it in the next video.
Sounds good to me.